Welcome to Mischief Wargaming. I'm John, and this is World of Tanks, the miniatures game. The world of Girls and Panzer is back as the girls' academies of Oarai and Kuromorimine face off against each other in a desert-themed arena. Sisters lead opposing sides as they do battle in the most recent challenge for Oarai Girls Academy. Let's take a look at the two forces. Oarai's team is pretty familiar compared to previous games. First up is Anglerfish Team's Panzer IV. Miho Nishizumi has the Sixth Sense skill, giving them a chance to move at the beginning of the shooting phase. Next up is Rabbit Team's M3 Lee. The Gunnery team have the Designated Target skill, allowing them to ignore the cover bonus of enemy tanks that move or shoot. The M3 has also filled their tanks with CO2, providing some defense against lucky critical hits, and the 37mm gun, giving them the choice between the hull-mounted gun or the weaker turret-mounted gun. Duck Team's Type 89 I-Go counts as a Valentine, like last time. A tough but slow light tank. Improved engine and the Cyclone filter upgrades give it a little more mobility, while the Smooth Ride and Snapshot skills make the tank more effective in shooting. Next up are Oarai's tank destroyers. First is Hippo Team's Stug 3. This dangerous assault gun has a camouflage net and binocular telescope upgrades, while the crew have the recon skill, giving them free movement at the beginning of the game. Last up is the newest addition to the team, Turtle Team's Hetzer. Whilst not as tough as the Stug, the Hetzer is more manoeuvrable, and with the Tatra Type 103 and low noise system upgrades, the tank destroyer can get the drop on opponents. Lastly, a trio of skills, Adrenaline Rush, Armourer and Relaying, can make the tank more deadly the closer they are to destruction. Their opponents are the prestigious Kuromorimine Girls Academy. The team is spearheaded by a Tiger 1, commanded by Maho Nishizumi, the older sister of the commander of Oarai's Panzer IV. Maho has the Eagle Eye skill, while the rest of the crew has preventative maintenance and call for vengeance skills. These allow the Tiger to reduce its firepower to increase its chance to cause critical hits, and be more likely to resist critical damage. The tank itself also has an improved turret and improved ventilation. The team also has two identical Panthers. Neither tank has any particular upgrades, and will be noted as Panther A and Panther B, with tokens to make it clear which is which. Lastly, the team is supported by a Panzer III. This medium tank is not as dangerous or as tough as either Panther, instead relying on its speed for protection. In addition, every tank in this game, on both sides, are also equipped with a manual fire extinguisher, a small first aid kit, and a small repair kit. This particular game is an encounter. Both sides are fighting for a neutral central objective. Starting from turn 2, if a tank is within one measuring arrow of the point with no enemy tanks in range, that side will score a victory point. The first to 3 victory points, or the most victory points by the end of turn 6, will win. Both sides are set up, and Oarai Girls Academy has the advantage. However, before the game begins, the Stug makes their recon moves. Starting with the lowest initiative, the tanks make their moves. The Tiger rolls up towards the objective. The Lee sets up on a sand dune. Both Panthers make use of their superior speed to try and flank the opposition. The Panzer IV follows the lead's example and sets up on a sand dune too. Setting up their camouflage net, the Stug remains stationary. The Type 89 slowly moves along their flank. The Hetzer goes up the opposite flank. Lastly, the Panzer III speeds down the southern flank. For the shooting phase, we start with the highest initiative and work down. But before that, the Panzer IV rolls to see if they make a free move due to the 6th sense skill. However, with a blank, they don't. The first tank with a shot is the Stug, firing at the Tiger. The shot hits with 2 criticals, however the Tiger's tough armour protects it from any damage. The Panzer IV also fires at the Tiger. However, the shot also failed to damage the heavy tank. Panther A takes a shot at the Stug. But that makes the 3rd shot in a row that whiffs it. The Tiger then takes aim at the M3 Lee. Finally, a shot that does something, causing a point of damage. The Lee then fires back at the Tiger, but business as usual, the shot bounces off the Tiger's armour. No victory points are scored on turn 1, so we move on to turn 2 in earnest. The Tiger continues to move up, parking itself right on the objective. The M3 Lee moves up using the bunker as cover. Panther A only moves once. While Panther B uses its full mobility to focus on the Hetzer. The Panzer IV moves in close to the Tiger. While the Stug remains stationary. The Type 89 continues to move up, and the Hetzer moves behind the Panther. Lastly, the Panzer III charges forward towards the Type 89 and the M3 Lee. Once again, the Panzer IV isn't able to make use of their 6th sense skill for this turn. The Panzer III begins the shooting phase by firing at the rear of the M3 Lee. However, the shot causes no damage. The Type 89 then fires at the Panzer III. Aided by the smooth ride skill, the shot goes through and damages the Panzer. The Stug then fires at the Tiger. The binocular telescope turns one of the hits into a critical, however the shot doesn't do anything. The Panzer IV shoots at the heavy tank, but like most shots against this tiger, it doesn't cause any damage. The Hetzer then fires at the Panther B. The medium tank's light flank and the close range of the shot negating a lot of its defences. The shot causes some damage and a critical hit. The critical is an engine fire, doing more damage and posing a real danger to the tank going forwards. Panther A then fires at the lee. But the shot doesn't do anything. Panther B then fires back at the Hetzer, potentially causing some real damage. The Hetzer rolls for its low noise system, which adds extra defense die. Unfortunately, it doesn't help as the tank destroyer still takes some damage. And its optics are now damaged. Maho's Tiger then fires at her sister's Panzer IV. The shot hits true and causes 3 points of damage, leaving the Panzer on just 1 hit point. Lastly, the M3 Lee elects to use their 37mm gun to fire at the Panzer III. The reduced firepower is offset by the bonus provided by the Type 89, being a light tank. Two criticals go through, damaging their equipment and causing a lucky hit, which does enough damage to knock out the Panzer III. With both the Tiger and the Panzer IV within range of the objective, no victory points are scored this turn. The Panther tries to put out the fire, but even after using their manual fire extinguisher to re-roll the repair die, the fire still rages, causing more damage. The Hetzer, however, manages to repair their optics, and turn 2 comes to an end. The third turn begins with the Tiger making defensive moves. This is where they count as moving, whilst actually remaining stationary. The M3 Lee moves back just a little. While the Panther moves up. The burning Panther B tries to get away from the Hetzer. The Panzer IV moves behind the Tiger and the Panther A. The Stuck moves up, taking the place of the Panzer IV. The Type 89 moves in close. Lastly, the Hetzer continues to give chase to the Panther B. Once again, the Panzer IV isn't able to use their 6th sense skill. The Stug then takes another shot at the Tiger. The Tiger only takes 1 point of damage. Only 7 more to go. Panzer IV then changes focus by firing on the Panther A. Taking advantage of the close range and the Panther's light flank, the shot causes 2 points of damage. The Hetzer then fires at the burning Panther, but is unable to cause any extra damage. The first Panther then takes aim on the Panzer IV, causing a hit and a critical. There's no need to draw a critical card as the Panzer IV is knocked out. The second Panther then whiffs a shot at the M3 Lee. The Tiger then fires at the Stug. Causing some damage and causing a critical hit. A damaged engine leaves the Stug on only 1 hit point. To end the phase, the M3 Lee fires at the Tiger. But the heavy tank's thick armour is just proving too much. Again, no victory points are scored this turn. The Panther manages to put out their fire before it causes any more damage, while the Stug manages to repair their engine. Turn 4 begins with the Tiger making more defensive moves. The Panther A moves up to try and flank the M3. The other Panther tries to ignore the Hetzer and moves up. The Stug moves to flank the first Panther. The Type 89 closes in on both Panthers. And lastly, the Hetzer keeps close to the Panther B. The turn shooting begins with the Type 89 shooting at the nearby Panther. However, the shot is unable to do any damage to the medium tank. The Stug then fires on the other Panther. Including the bonus from the nearby Type 89 and the Panther's reduced defense thanks to the close range shot and the light flank, the shot manages to cause some damage. The Hetzer fires on their usual target, causing a little bit more damage. Panther A shoots at the M3 Lee. bringing the tank down to just 1 hit point. Panther B fires on the pesky Hetzer. After getting the bonus from the low noise system, the Hetzer avoids taking any damage. The heavy tank then takes aim at the Stug. The critical causing enough damage to knock the tank destroyer out. Finally, the M3 Lee shoots at the first Panther. The shot was well aimed and it knocks out the imposing Panther. After the Stug was knocked out, there are no Oarai tanks within range of the objective, meaning Kuromorimine score 1 victory point. Turn 5 sees the Tiger taking a more aggressive stance as it moves in on the Lee. The Lee then reacts by moving back. The remaining Panther charges in. And the Type 89 keeps moving, whilst the Hetzer remains stationary. The Hetzer fires on the Panther, but the shot causes no damage. The Panther then returns fire. This time the shot lands true, causing 3 critical hits, which are more than enough to knock out the tank destroyer. No victory points are scored this turn as the Lee is now too close to the objective. The 6th and final turn begins with the nearly full health Tiger remaining stationary. The M3 Lee makes some defensive moves. While the Panther, finally free of its pesky Hetzer problem, gets up close to the Lee. Finally, the Type 89 gets into position to fire at the remaining Panther. The shot doesn't penetrate the Panther's armour, however. The Panther ignores the light tank while it fires at the M3 Lee. Thanks to the reroll generated by being a medium tank, the shot manages to cause a point of damage, knocking the tank out. And with that, the turn ends, with Kuromorimine scoring a 2nd victory point. That means Kuromorimine win with 2 victory points to Oarai's 0. And that was another game of World of Tanks, the miniatures game. Oarai was up against it this time. The imposing Tiger and Panthers have strong armour and a lot of health, which allowed them to just sit out in the open, while the lack of cover really hurt the tank destroyers. By the time Oarai focused fire on the Panthers, it was too late, and they had taken too many losses. This scenario really favoured Kuromorimine, as they could afford to park the heavy Tiger out in the open with little fear, whilst allowing the Panthers and the Panzer III to make use of their mobility to harass the flanks. Perhaps in future a map and scenario that forces Kuromorimine to move, and also to provide more cover for the tank destroyers, and this fight would have been perhaps a lot more even. Lessons learned for future encounters. For future updates, check out the social links in the description below, and until next time, thank you all very much for watching, take care.